Konnichiwa, machigai naku, zetai takina gomi no betsu no episodo e yokozo. And for our, obviously, English viewers, hello and welcome to what will no doubt be another episode of absolute rubbish. It's going to be absolutely fascinating to see how we get on here at Suzuka.
I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Jeff going on. We had a bit of an issue with the broadcast then. I'm not sure why it stopped, but hopefully now, just having a quick check. Yeah, it seems to be working. I think it was an issue on Twitch end, but we've got ourselves back in the game as my Twitch app decides to freeze. While I'm waffling on, what I will say is if you haven't done so already, please do check out episode 14, Singapore. What a race we had. A lot of miracles happened in that one. I'm not going to spoil it just yet, but if you haven't done, please do check that out. It's a cracker. But it will provide a little bit of a context for this episode because it's very polarising. After the heroics of last time out, just across the water, just across the, I think it's the Pacific Sea, in Singapore, we're here in Japan, and in all honesty, our pace is pretty dire. We're not looking particularly good in terms of performance. We qualified 15th, but we will be starting, incredibly, in 13th place, thanks to Carlos Sainz and Esteban Ocon, our rival, in the MyTeam rivals area sort of thing, if you know what I mean. Those two are both got penalties, so that's bumped both me and Guan Yu as well up to 14th. Now I've got to say, last couple of episodes I've been saying that Guan Yu's got to put an effort in the race and qualifying, because he's sort of been mixing with the Class C group, and our car's not. Realistically, it should be in the midfield. Last few races we saw last week at Singapore what we can do with a bit of luck, but he's fair play to him. Out-qualified us in Q1 by a 10th, and we managed to beat him back in Q2, and we lined up in 15th, and then with the promotions up to 13th. But it was a very good showing, and I think I don't know if we're visiting China this season. I know I picked a 20 race career season for the opening season, so if it's not, then this is as close as Guan Yu's going to be in front of his home crowd in Japan, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. Valtteri, Bottas, again, Mercedes managed to balls it up. Both Mercedes went to medium compound tyres in Q2, but they got out-qualified. Hamilton was only 10th, so he just scraped through, but Bottas on 11th on the mediums. He's chosen the soft, so obviously better compound for him, or for Mercedes, they believe, during the race. Whether he'll make up any positions, they should do, but it's going to be still pretty tough around this circuit. So I'm waffling on a bit. We're going to start on the softs just like everyone else, and we're going to crack things on. I'll find my clutch point if I can.
Okay, our system checks are good. We need to stay in formation and start bringing the car up to temperature, please. Get some load into the tyres and work the brakes.
Any of the
we want them nice and warm by the end of the lap.
Since our result last time out of Singapore. Spoiler for those that haven't watched, we won somehow, quite incredibly. But we're still lacking realistically in our chassis department. That's where we're struggling a little bit, so we're not going to have any heroics like we did at Singapore. I suspect we'll probably crash out, which is why we've got those flashbacks for this season. I am debating next season whether to get rid of them or change it up a little bit, maybe have 50% races. It's all about time really and availability, so we're just going to go around this formation lap. I love Japan, just for those that are unaware, it's one of my favourite countries in the world. I love a lot about its culture, its lifestyle, and I love this circuit. I do love Suzuka. Problem is, I'm not very quick round here. It's probably one of my weakest circuits on the F1 game, so I reckon we're going to struggle. I think we'll be fighting with Guan Yu pretty much for most of the race. I also think that the two cars that are behind us out of position on the grid, so that's Sainz and that would also be Ocon. I reckon they'll get past us very quickly. We've also got a little bit of a concern about the engines and MGU HUK and control electronic usage. I think we're coming up to the limit. We'll probably have to take a penalty, and now that I think about it, I should have actually took the penalties now because it's my weakest circuit. That would have made more sense, but we didn't think that far, which is why I'm not an F1 team owner in real life, because I'd make bottle-in decisions like that. Right, line it up then for the start. Probably go quiet for the first couple of corners. I don't want to have to restart because I've clobbered someone's front wing.
Keep an eye on the lights. The start sequence will begin as soon as the grid has formed. Be ready with the clutch.
Shut up, Jeff. I know how F1 starts work. Guan Yu has had an absolute perler. I'm just gonna sneak up the inside of him. Great.
We're accumulating some wear on the MGU.
Noncy nonce.
To manage this, we'll need to lower our ERS deployment mode.
I'm restarting. I know I shouldn't, but I'm restarting. I'm sick of the AI not leaving any bloody space. And we had a good start then as well. Guan Yu's incredible off the start. Here comes Sainz. I'm going to get boxed in. Banged wheels. Sainz. Come on. Great. Apologies to those that are watching this absolute travesty. This is third time lucky. I'm not going to try and launch up the inside now because the AI just can't be trusted. That's... yeah, you know what? That's karma. That is karma for me restarting. I'm just going to filter through. You can't trust the AI. Three restarts, 3 places lost. That makes sense, doesn't it? Guan Yu though, struggling through Domo. But Guan Yu, incredible starts all 3 times. I'm just going to get up there with Guan Yu. Just hang out with me, mate. We are quicker than the Alfa Romeos, so that was quite important. Sainz looking all over the back of Kimi. Kimi retiring at the end of the season, as is Alonso, for those that didn't know.
Okay, we're reaching a danger point with the wear on the MGU-H. Overheating the engine will exacerbate the issue, so keep the temps under control.
Okay, so a couple of issues with the engine, good to know. Have a look at our engine temps. All seems good so far. Oh, Guan Yu's gone. He's bottled it. Was not expecting that. He'd had a great start and off he goes. Let's have a watch. On board with my fellow rainbow friend. Just hits the curb, round he goes into the gravel trap. I think he's kept it out the wall. Just have a spin back, shall we? Spins it round. He just keeps it out of the wall, so he'll be able to keep going, but that is a lot of time lost. That's right to the back of the pack. And I was literally just praising him, saying, what a great start.
Okay, clear.
You know, all 3 times he'd nailed the start. Been driving well recently, and that, well, it's going to go against him. See what his recovery's like. We're not going to keep up with Bottas and Tsunoda, that's a fact. We just don't have the pace. So it's going to be a question of how long can we hang on to 13th place for. Ooh, that's a bit wide. The only thing I would say is that our straight line speed, despite the issues we've got, is still awesome. I mean, it's not that the driver can't spot the apex at 130R, but that's not the point.
DRS will be enabled this lap. You can use it when within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
That's jolly. I want to say it's Jolly Joe, if I'm right in saying. I only had a quick glance then.
We're accumulating some wear on the MGUK.
Thanks, dude.
To manage
Appreciate
this,
that.
we'll need to lower our ERS deployment mode.
Appreciate the comment, Jolly. Hope you're happy. Hope you're happy with a name like that. One thing I've actually forgot about is that they took DRS zone off this main straight, which I find quite baffling, really, that F1 would do that in the real world, because Suzuka's notoriously a difficult track to try and overtake on, as I absolutely bottle the chicane.
Gap to teammate behind is 7.8 seconds.
Yeah, Guan Yu 7.8 back after his spin. Be kicking himself after that one. There he is, actually down the main straight. Sainz is just stuck to the back of Raikkonen, he can't get past. Shut up, Jeff.
Got that confirmed.
Nearly lost it going into the hairpin then, that was good. Tyres are just picking up a bit of wear. I'm just noticing the difference already in a couple of laps. Admittedly, it is scaled. Oh, that was a terrible corner cut, Jack. That's really bad. Didn't get a warning for it. On regular corner cutting, that wasn't a warning. Crikey. Careful of these curbs. Absolutely, they were always lethal, but the new additions this season, the curbs feel even worse. Even if you look at them now, they'll spit you off. Seems to be just eking out a little gap to Raikkonen, which is what we need. Not too much though, because I'd like Sainz to stay behind him for a little bit longer. Deep into the hairpin. Oh, spin one terrible. Redeemed myself for a spoon two. But this is what's keeping us, you know, from under threat. Really, is our straight line speed. It is absolutely incredible. And traction's really good as well off the corners, using the Renault engine. I think, despite what people say, the Renault engine's really good. And the other bit of logic to use as well, you just sweep through Degner 1. A bit of dirt on our tyres there, nearly lost that. The other bit of logic to use as well is that because we are the only customer of Renault, we're not going to suffer with any, you know, upgrade control, anything like that. We're not going to have any preference, we're not going to be pushed over for upgrades. So it's quite a quite a bad spoon one, but it's quite a nice situation to have. Guan Yu is catching the back of that pack now after a spin, so good news, he hasn't flat spotted his tyres. Well, he will have, but not too much. He's going to have to put on a display though. Oh, that's deep into turn. Penultimate corner. Right, a couple of cars coming into pit. We will beat them out, obviously. They're too far behind us, so nothing to worry about. And we're due in this lap. Oh, wow, there's the first use of the flashback. That's what I was expecting. And you see how quickly that the car, I'll just show you as an example, just how quickly the smallest, merest of touches with the curb on throttle and round it goes. That's what you've got to be wary of. Let's give that a wide berth. Proceeds to then drive on the next curb. Logical, that. Oh, I nearly lost it through Dunlop. That's going to put Raikkonen right on the back of me. Yeah, you can see the tyre wear, 34% on those fronts. I've nearly lost the spoon, that was just clumsy. I've nearly hit Raikkonen. Oh, Raikkonen's hit me. Bit of VRS just to get us out of trouble. Raikkonen's really going to go try and do one side by side through 130. Oh, crikey. Let's get to the pits, let's get these tyres off. Get slowed down just in time. The Sainz is also pitted. It'll all come down to who can get out of the pits, who can service us the quickest. Nice pit stop. Just going to beat them out, it's good news. Raikkonen's gone on ahead. There's a Williams coming down the pit straight. No, it's not Williams, so it's Ocon. So Ocon, who pitted earlier, he was one of the cars out of position. Trying to cut through the field by undercutting us. So I mess up the S's again. This is not what I need at all. He's made a few places up, but it's not enough. Bit clumsy out of corner there. Okay, I need to get myself sorted now because this is really clumsy. You know, Giovinazzi nearly flew past us then. And this is supposed to be all out lap. We're supposed to be gaining time, and realistically, I've not done that. I've just literally driven like an otter on land, which doesn't help anyone. Let's get the heads in the game. So Hamilton with a 26.6, our best is a 29.7. It just shows you the level of difference.
Guan Yu is coming in for his stop.
Guan Yu's into the pits. Raikkonen's gone onto the harder compound tyres. That's an interesting choice. Here we go then, coming down the pit straight. We'll clear them quite comfortably actually. So Raikkonen disappears. And Giovinazzi becomes our new best friend in our rear view mirrors. And after me terrible driving just then, I think I've managed to sort myself out now. Got a bit of a queue behind me. Yeah, Ocon is our rival in the MyTeam career mode. Ooh, that's a bit... Yes, finally! Got Spoon right, at long last. But yeah, Ocon is our rival in the one options that we had to pick, which is a bit annoying really, because Alpine are clearly quicker than our car. But I picked Ocon because the other options that I had were way quicker than me. That's our first lap of 29.5. Actually managed to gap Giovinazzi a little bit. But a little finish in front of our main rival would be very beneficial. Try not to clip that curve again, Jack. Already danced with it once, don't need to do it again. That's much better. Actually broken DRS on Giovinazzi. Ooh, nice cone, 10 points. And broken DRS, so this is going to make Giovinazzi vulnerable now to Ocon, and the Ferrari as well as Sainz is behind them. He's held on for the time being, that's good news for us. Oh, the yellow flag. Nice Spoon. Vettel.
Some information on Vettel. They've got a serious car issue. It looks like they're retiring.
Out goes Sebastian Vettel in Aston Martin. That moves us up to 12th. I doubt there's going to be 2 more retirements, but interesting nonetheless. We just need to keep Giovinazzi away from us. I'm not looking for Hollywood lap times or anything, I'm just looking to get to the end of the race. To be honest with you, that wasn't great. I've somehow set a green sector time there. A couple of clumsy corners there. Giovinazzi's just got back under the 1 second gap, but a bit of VRS will sort that out. Pushing as hard as he can, trying to get past. But Ocon and Sainz, they haven't made any progress. Nor has Bottas. He started 11th, he's 10th, and that's thanks to a retirement from Vettel. So that's going to be big implications in the championship fight between himself and Hamilton. Hamilton, I'm assuming Hamilton's still leading the race. Thanks, Jolly, by the way, for following me. Appreciate that. A little bit deep into turn 1. Final lap, though. Just hanging on. To be honest with you, I'm feeling a little bit of difference in the tyres. I think, the best of them in terms of the raw speed now has disappeared. Although I say that, and nearly lose it on the curves at Spoon. So it's just proving my point, really. We lost 3/10 as a result of that. But we should be comfortable. Hamilton's won the race, so big 25 points for him. Plus fastest lap, so that's 26. We've messed up the final chicane, but it doesn't matter too much. Gonna come home in 12th, that's a good result. Happy with that, I have to say. Nice finish for us. Really pleased with that. Perez gets driver of the day. I'm not really sure what warrants driver of the day, considering that we went from 13th to 16th to 11th. Sorry, not 11th, 12th. That's pretty positive for us.
After a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium.
Perez second, so he's moved up a spot or two, I think. See what we do with this XP. Another level gained, up to 26. Obviously we're on the peasant tier, so we're not getting any of the happy emotes or anything like that. We do have something coming on 27.
It's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship.
So Perez went from 6th to 2nd, so yeah, well deserving the driver of the day.
Difficult race today for our championship leader. Now,
let's just have a look
who would you say is
and see where Guan Yu ended up. So he came back to 19th.
But if I had to pick someone, it's got to be Sergio Perez.
And he set a faster lap than us, so I've got to say, fair play to him, despite spinning off. He put a good shift and he came back, so I can forgive him for his misdemeanor. We weren't realistically, as a team, going to get anywhere higher than where we finished, so 12th place is good. Guan Yu, alright, he should have finished probably 14th or 15th, but he spun off, and I think that's a good comeback. I'm not going to be too harsh on him. We're still on 37 points in terms of constructors and drivers standings, so it is what it is. I think Alonso will go past us in the next round or two. I can't see us getting any further than that. We'll advance on. So Hamilton winning that race. I didn't actually properly look at the driver standings of constructors in terms of the top spot, so we'll have a look back at that in a minute. So breakdown of the rivalry. Oh, that's very good news. So thanks to Ocon's penalty, we've managed to gain quite a big advantage on him in the rivalry. Boosted our acclaim up. We should go over to 12 on the team acclaim. There we go. So that's happy days for us. And what about the cash? Good stuff. We got our bonus ones, even though sometimes it doesn't give us them. 20k of damage. What did I do? What did I do? I actually don't know what I did. Bit of a surprise, I won't lie. Don't know what I did there. But yeah, we've got a bit more money in our headquarters, so into the final quarter of the season now. 5 races to go. So that'll be an interesting way to go off and close the season. There's a powertrain department event.
How do you want us to deal with this one?
We wanted to test initiative to improve by reducing work hours slightly, giving them more scheduled time in the day to unwind and make use. Probably trial this in a single department first, but how does that sound? Do you know something? I know it's resource points, but I'm always an advocate of helping people out. I do think that you need your own time to unwind. I don't agree with working to the core, so even though it's in game and realistically you just press decline, it doesn't really matter. Let's give them that. I don't think it's
not an
the
easy
end of
decision,
the world,
but you handled it well. Thanks.
You know, it's not going to damage us too much. I mean, we've got 2,755 resource points anyway. We'll renew our sponsors. No harm, no foul. And we've got a while until US of A. So let's see what we can do. Let's get Guan Yu a performance review. Let's give the power equipment team an upgrade. Give the aero team building a bit more morale boosting, and then I mean I could improve my own acclaim, but we'll go with sponsor event because that's pretty straightforward. 1 day of nothing. So this is all the R&D we got in progress. Now these are due in the next few days. We look on our overview, you can see them just popping up, so it's going to be massive to get those upgrades just ahead of the season. You can see our engine situation's a little bit poo. The energy store, I think we're going to end up having to take another one on. The turbocharger definitely, and the control electronics definitely as well. Let's have a look at the season results. So USA, Mexico, Brazil, Australia, UAE. I think, you know, they are 2-3 power circuits there in terms of America and Mexico. Brazil's a bit balanced. Australia, actually, it's going to be quite interesting because it's always the start of the season, Australia. So I've no idea how that's going to play out as the penultimate round. UAE, that's Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates. I'd say that's a power circuit. It does have a tendency of chassis, but you can make up a lot of time on those 2 straights. So I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue. Just having a quick let's have a look at those standings actually. Let's go properly look at them. Hamilton bringing that gap back to 20 points with 5 races to go is going to be it's going to be fascinating to watch. Lando pretty much on for 3rd place. Ricardo, I think he's had 2 podiums this season compared to Norris, who's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. That's a big difference. And who's going to get the Alpine and the Alfa Romeo seats next season? Because Alonso and Raikkonen are retiring, so you'd assume we could have 2 new drivers coming in. That would be fascinating. And will Guan Yu do enough to keep his seat? Because his last 3 events, Singapore aside, you know, realistically, he should have been higher than that. Japan were going well until he spun off. So that'll be interesting. got a bit more money, so we'll just get those driver perks upgraded, because I think that's where we should have. Get the media coaching in. Don't want to be shouting at people saying horrible words. I don't think we need to worry about that just yet. You know, we want to get through... I'm debating whether to take 2 new engines. Sorry, 2 new MGU parts. And maybe a new CE. Just to help out with our reliability to the end of the season. I think our energy store's gonna buffer out anyway at some point, so I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna put new MGUK in. Oh, I don't want to take a new. I just want to take one of my allowed ones. Energy store should be fine. Turbocharger. I'm thinking take another one to the end of the season. We get a penalty, probably a 10-place penalty, ready for the next event at America, which has always been a bit of an odd track for us. So, see how that goes. Can't do anything with this because we just don't have enough money. We've not been making enough money. So, let's see then what happens. We need these upgrades to work.
I know we were expecting
Status haven't worked. Brilliant start. Nice one.
Control. We'll need to tell a team what to redevelop via the R&D screen.
So they can still come in actually before the American Grand Prix. So see how they go. Cable assemblies, that worked? It has. Power equipment grades gone in. What about the roll dampers? They've worked. Got some resources in. Now the status.
I know we were expecting some new developments to come through, but some of them have failed quality control.
What are you talking about? They
We'll need to
worked,
tell a
didn't
team
they?
what to redevelop via the R&D screen.
So we are quicker than Alpine in theory, but I'll be honest with you, I don't think that's the case. You just have a look. Yeah, so the status worked. Our chassis improvements have worked. Our aero upgrade has worked. Our last aero upgrade, actually, I should point out, because we have reached the maximum that we can do with facilities. We'll have to upgrade to facility 2 rather, to help if I could talk. Plank is unavailable. Probably talking about the driver, to be honest, because I'm a complete plank. And the engine upgrades have worked. So CE, control electronics, we need that. It won't be ready until the Australian Grand Prix. It's a free Grand Prix in between now and then, so a little bit annoying, but what else can we do? Might as well use it. And I think we should go with the heat dispersing wheel rims, because we've still got quite a big, still got a good amount of upgrade usage we've got there. So chassis now looks a little bit better. We're 7th on the grid. We're better than the Alpha Tauri, and with this upgrade we could go past Alpine, so that'll help with the final couple of circuits. That'll be a bonus for us. Let it save. We go over to the other side. Facilities, nothing we can do. Yeah, because we don't have the money. But that is it for this episode. Really appreciate you tuning in and watching. It's been good to have you with us. And in any case, I hope wherever you might be in the big wide world, you're having a good time. I will upload this over to YouTube as well, so feel free to have a look at that on JackTM53 Synopsis on the YouTube as well. But in any case, thanks very much for watching, and see you soon.